Ma'am, hello.
Yeah,
Ma'am, I'm audible?
we can start, Shweta.
Good morning, one and all. We have successfully completed 2 days of our 5-day online FPP on innovation and acquisition of IPR, jointly organized by HL Academy and IUC APRS. Our first session for the day is Patent System in India and Filing Procedure. May I invite Smriti and Pradeep, second SEM IPR PhD, IUC IPRS, to introduce the resource person to the session. Smriti.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Please proceed. Smriti, we can't hear you.
Shmriti?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there was some issue with my net earlier. I don't know. I was not able to hear anybody.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Shweta, can you start? Shweta? Shweta, are you there?
Smriti, you can
Okay,
continue. I have
you can continue. You can introduce the speaker.
Okay, okay. Oh, sorry. I did not hear. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Good morning, one and all. Our resource person for today's session is Mr. T. Srinivasan, joint partner in Lakshmi Kumaran and Sridharan Attorneys. He is a registered patent agent with over 20 years of experience in filing and prosecution of patent application, both in India and abroad. His areas of expertise include obtaining of patents related to chemical field, including pharmaceuticals, polymer sciences, and biotechnological patent applications. Mr. Srinivasan also handles trademark and design applications. He regularly appears and argues before Controller of Patents, Indian Patent Office, and IP Appellate Board. He closely works with his firm's litigation team in providing legal opinion and support them in court matters. Before taking up legal services, he worked in rubber industry for about 16 years. He also advises clients and delivers lectures on patent law. It is an honor to have you with us here today, sir. I would like to extend a warm welcome to you on my personal behalf and on the behalf of IUC IPRS to this program. I also welcome our respected coordinators and participants to today's program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for a nice introduction. Asha, can I start or any?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir, you can start, sir.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Yeah, sir, it's visible.
Is it visible? Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for the organizers for providing me an opportunity. Especially, I should thank Dr. Asha. In fact, I never interacted earlier. In fact, through one of my other friend, we got introduced to Dr. Asha. Nice to share my whatever the knowledge which I gathered over a period of time to the benefit of the audience. So thing is, since being a virtual mode, please the audience, please keep your questions at the end so that we can answer to each and everyone. And I appreciate that more questions from you people rather than I'm talking it. Okay, thank you. Basically, I'm going to talk about this patent system in India and filing procedure. So what is it is basically it is an international character of it is IP, because if you see earlier before the gate and other things, it is part of that they don't have give much importance, but due to various reasons, this IP become they're affecting the commercial aspect of this big companies in multinationals. So they're trying to include it as part of the trade negotiation. That is what has happened it. So it is again, it is implications are global. In the sense, what happened? See, IP law, as you know, it is a territorial nature. That is, a patent granted in India, it is valid only in India, or if it is granted in USA, it is vice versa, it is valid only in USA. But what happened, especially in this pharma industries, before the say we can say is patent Indian patent law been in line with TRIPS other things. People manufacture drugs or products in India, they sell it in other countries where there is no patent law is there. For example, in Africa and other countries, which ultimately affected the multinationals in their profit. So that is the reason the whole things was no, IP should be part of your all trade related issues. That is what it introduced. And each country, of course, have a different set of laws. Some country have special grant of certain claims. Certain countries they have some restrictions and all. It is because it is owned by the sovereign rights. In basically, even in 1986, this under the GATE, IPRS brought under the trade negotiation between the countries because the people, the companies are losing their commercial profits because of this copying of the various patent related materials. Could be drugs or could be other products also. And the whole system is so that there should be a uniform system all over the world, so that people can harmonize the territorial IP laws, so that it can be brought into a single kind of a system. And there are various notable treaties on the trade and IPR. It is a GATE, it is a General Agreement on Trades and Tariffs. I'll just give you one example. See, prior to 1990, before our liberalization, if you import, say, a good TV, you have to pay 300 to 400% of that customs duty, because there is no such manufacturing and all, we have to import it. But because of this GATE and liberalization of thing, we are able to now, we are getting a TV either in manufacturing in India, or the import duty is around 30% or 40%, depending upon the consumer durable. So we are able to get a very good products, latest technology product in India, that because the government able to give assurance to that manufacturer that your IP rights will be protected. Otherwise, nobody will be export the technology, and by exporting the technology, people may copy it. So this is what the whole background of this IP related things. And there are certain conventions. There is a Paris Convention. There is a TRIPS. That is a trade related aspects of intellectual property, where we become a member of WTO, and we are obligated to amend the law in regard to the TRIPS requirement. And India, we amended the law in 3 times, in 1999, 2002, and 2005. Now we are in line with all over the laws of the other countries, like developed countries like USA or Europe. Of course, we can have a certain restrictions as required by under the law and the local requirement. As I mentioned earlier, obtaining and enforcing patent is generally done by country by countries. There is no world patent. That means you need to get if you are commercially interested in particular country, if you want to protect it, you should go and independently go to that particular country and file a patent protection. So before filing suppose if you come across an idea, if you want to file a patent applications, you should decide it where you want to get a protection. Accordingly, you should put your programs planning and accordingly. A patent office, a patent granted of the Indian Patent Office is valid only in Indian territory. And if you see, as far as the history of Indian patent law is concerned, we have a law from 1856 onwards. But more importantly, 1911 Act was the critical one, which is in fact, we see it, this 1911 Act is still valid in Bangladesh. Of course, in other countries like Pakistan and all, of course, Pakistan, they amended the law. So everything is based on the 1911 Act. And subsequently, in 1972, the Patent Act was amended. Thereby, too much restrictions have been provided in the Indian law. That is the reason, a whole reason that TRIPS and other things, and we become a part of the TRIPS and WTO and all. In 1999, the patent amendment was amended partially in line with the TRIPS requirement. In 2002, also kind of an amendment made it. In 2004 or 2005, we amended to comply with the requirement of the TRIPS. So, in fact, the current law is effect from 1/1/2005. This law is there. You see, if you take iPhone, it is a kind of a bundle of rights. If you see iPhone, it can have a multi-technology for the patent, it covered under the patent. iPhone is a trademark, then the screen is ornamental designs, then there is a creativity is there. So in fact, each product may contain bundle of rights. So now patent is not only thing. In fact, if you take any product, it contain all this kind of a 4 or 3 rights depending upon the type of the product. So therefore, it is very, very critical. That is the reason it is linked to the commercial aspects. And this is a typical various term of the each IP. Patents, they have 20 years. Expressions by way of copyright, it is 60 years. Design is 10 years. Identity is as long as you are able to keep it, it is perpetual. And trade secret also, as long as you keep it trade secret, it is perpetual. Of course, this been yesterday discussed. I don't want to go too much into it. Just to give the why the importance of the 2005 Act. See what happened. Pre 2005, patents granted for products other than medicines, agrochemicals, and food. There is no product patent for the drugs. Then patents are granted for synergistic compositions, and cosmetics also is granted. But since there is no, and if you see the term of the patent for those things is 5 years. So the main issue is with respect to the pharma patents. And for that matter, in fact, we had been forced to sign WTO agreement and TRIPS agreement requirement because main thing is on the drug industry only. Basically affected by is drug industry. So because of that one, there was a provision was called mailbox provision was introduced based on the amendment. That is, you can file application from 1995 to 2005 in case of a pharmaceutical substance under the mailbox. But that will be examined only after Indian law become TRIPS compliance. That is probably, that was after 1/1/2005. And the meantime, if any drug has been approved in other jurisdiction, a patent has been filed in India, there is exclusive marketing rights be possible. In fact, in India, only that Novartis imatinib mesylate was granted the exclusive marketing right, and thereafter there is patent litigation started on that particular drug, and it went up to Supreme Court. Then we, as per the post 2005, we amended the inventions. Definition of inventions were amended. Then we included further non-patentable subject matters. Then we given exception for research, experiments, and educational training. Otherwise, if as per the law, if anyone, and but I'll tell you the next slides, we will discuss subsequently. Then post 2005, all products and processes patentable, including medicines for internal, external use of humans or animals, substances used in diagnosis, intermediate chemical substances, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, everything is, you can get a product patent post 2005. Before that, it is not possible. Then we introduced a uniform patent term of 20 years. Then there is a pre-grant opposition was introduced. Then also there is a IP appellate board was formed to address the issues from the appeal arising out of that patent office. Of course, in 2021, it was abolished to various reasons. These are the post 2005 scenarios. Then inventions, all fields of technology is patentable. Microorganism was patentable. Exclusions wider than TRIPS. And basically, it was the what are the amendments was made were welcomed by all the industries, especially pharmaceutical and biotech industries. Now we'll come to the patent. What is a patent? It is not an idea. It should be a vendable or tangible product that been defined by way of claims. Of course, I'll give the sample patents is granted in India. So it is not merely an idea, because idea is covered by copyright. It should be more than an idea. It is put in a paper. It is described in a proper manner, and along with the claims. In fact, I can say it is nothing but your non-patent publication or journal publication or PhD thesis, but put it in a kind of a legal flavor. Once you file a patent application with the patent office, subject to various requirements, patent will be granted. What is a patent? Patent means a patent for any invention granted under this act. then what we call it as in legal language, it is a quid pro quo. That is, you give something and take something for something. That is the mutual consideration that passes between the two parties to a contractual agreement, thereby rendering the agreement valid and binding. That is, you are disclosing the invention to the government, and the government or the patent office subject to examining it, providing you patent rights. So because of your disclosure, the patent is granted, and that disclosure is public domain, come to the public domain after 20 years. But in the meantime, people can work on it, make some improvement, and also that is possible. What can be protected? So this is a very famous case law under the US Supreme Court, that anything under the sun is made by handiwork of inventor is patentable. That is, we call it as anything under the sun is patentable. Here in this, what happened, this Dr. Chakrabarti is an Indian. In fact, just 1 year back only he passed away. He came across a microorganism which eat away the oil spill, and he filed a patent application for the microorganism, but it was refused by the patent office, US patent office, saying that it is something in nature's domain, so it is not patentable. Then he filed appeal, and it went up to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court that it is possible to get a patent for this microorganism. It is a DNA modified microorganism, and they say as long as it is made by a man, it is patentable. Then why to get a patent? See, we people can talk about what is a patent and all. Ultimately, we require some rights from the patent. What is that? There are two types of patents possible. One is product patent, another is a process patent. Because ultimately, everyone is interested. You file a patent application, you have getting some grant or the rights. That is, you are getting a home by it is a tangible product. You are buying a home. Here you are buying you are filing a patent application to get a kind of a rights. So what is the rights is available? Suppose if it is a product is X, you can prevent third parties without your consent from the act of making the X, using the X, offering for sale of X, selling X, or importing the X. This is the 5 rights granted by the patent office for a patent owner, if the patent subject matter meets the requirement of the law. And also it is possible to get a product process patent also. In case of process patent, what is covered is the product obtained directly by that particular process. So what the protection available is, you can prevent third parties from the using the process or from the act of using, offering for sale, or selling, or importing for this purpose, at least the product obtained directly by that process. For example, if you obtained the X only by this particular process, your protection is only with respect to your product obtained by that particular process which followed, and you got a grant. Suppose if somebody produce the same substance by different process, they are not infringing you. This is what the difference. So the scope of protection we always look for is product patent, where once you get a product, if anyone prepares that particular process in any product by in any process, still they are infringing. Whereas in case of a process patent, only your process is follows by someone else, they are infringing. Otherwise, they are not infringing you. So always, whenever you are filing a patent application, you are drafting a patent application, you should always look for a product patent to get a proper protection. What is an infringement? This is what the claim. See, this is what the claim. If any of the product which fall within this circle, then that is infringing. So people can take, the patent owner can take action. In fact, I'll tell you that you see. That is what the patent infringement means. The patent occurs when a competitor makes, uses, sells, offers to sell, or imports an embodiment of the invention without the permission of the patent owner. I'll give you one simple example. Assuming that you got a chair, a patent for a chair, where the claim says a chair comprising a seat, 4 legs supporting the seat, and a back. So this is a seat, there is a back, there is a 4 legs. So suppose if I got a patent for this particular product, and if you makes a stool, would it infringe us? see here, you need to, that is what you need to compare the element of the claim. A chair comprising, say, assuming there is a stool, what my claim will be a chair comprising a seat. There is no four legs are there. It is only one leg is there. There is no back. Therefore, the stool has seat, but does not have any four legs or a back. Conclusion, a bar stool does not infringe the claim. This is what you need to map the claim vis-a-vis your product. Now we will go into that the law, patent law. What is an invention? Invention means a new product or a process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. There are three tests are there. It should be a new product or a new process. The next condition is it should have an inventive step. And third aspect is it should be capable of industrial application. Then we'll go in depth. Then what is the inventive step means? A feature of the invention that involves technical advance as compared to the existing knowledge or having economic significance or both, and that makes that invention not obvious to a person skilled in the art. See, it is not, see what happened, the difference between novelty and now newness and inventive step is, if suppose if you refer to that chair, there are three elements are there. Whether the three elements it is present in your product, then it is infringement, or if it is already disclosed, it is novelty is lost. But what happens, suppose if I have a patent for a chair and you file a patent application for a stool, then whether is it obvious? Because what happened in my chair, there is a seat pan, then there is a back, there is a legs are there. What you have done is you file a patent application for a stool which having one leg. So therefore it could be construed as obvious because it's nothing better. You remove two elements from my chair claim and you come across another application, then that could be construed as obvious. So therefore, the requirement is it should not be a mere extra what is called mere modification of the earlier product. It should be more than that. That is what the requirement is. That is what the requirement is, technical advance. Then capable of industrial application means should be made or used in industry. That is what it should have a utility. So the requirement is should be novel, it should be inventive, and it should have a utility or the industrial application. How the criteria for this novelty or newness? Not known to the public before filing of your patent application. Novelty is lost if the invention has been disclosed in case of prior publication, prior disclosure, prior use. If you've done anything before you file a patent application, your newness or novelty is lost. How another prior use is test marketing a new product, offering for sale or selling the product, distributing samples to the customers or collaborators. Without a confidential agreement, your newness is lost. You may not get a patent after you file this application. So therefore, avoid displaying or discussing the invention in a seminar, lecture, workshop, poster presentation, trade show, publication in a website, journal. Please don't publish it. People are getting misguided that you can publish it, then you can subsequently file a patent application. It is not at all possible. In fact, we came across a lot of people, a lot of inventors unknowingly publishing it. Then they realize that they made a mistake. If they approach a patent office, you will not get a patent because your own publication will act as a novelty destroying document and your competitor will kill the patent. So therefore, don't publish any applications before you file a patent application. In fact, there is a case law. A thesis submitted and kept in library is considered as a publication, even though it was made available, but no one has accessed it. Because the requirement is once it is made available to the public, it doesn't matter whether anyone has seen it or not, accessed it or not. As long as it is made available, it is a prior art. It is a publication. What to do? If there is no other way, sign a confidentiality agreement with the disclosing party. Or best thing is file a provisional patent application in India before making any disclosure. And it is very, very critical, keep your lab records or workshop records properly, because that will act as evidence where in case of any litigation. This is very, very critical. Then inventive step, I just earlier mentioned it. I'll give you one simple case law. This is a doorknob case, we call it as there is a prior art where a doorknob is made up of metal. But the subject matter of the new invention is a porcelain doorknob. Then it is another US Supreme Court decision. The court held that invention is obvious. It is merely a workshop modification. No human intervention are involved. See here, the issue is metal knob is susceptible to corrosion. So what the inventor, the next person done is, you came across a porcelain doorknob so that there is no rusting problem will be there. But the porcelain has the characteristics of, it is not rustable product. So it is nothing but its property. So what the court held is, it is nothing but a workshop modification, because you replaced one metal knob with the porcelain. Therefore, it is very obvious you will not get a patent. This is a very simple example for the obviousness. Then we'll go to that, what is the, because see what happened under the section 2(1)(j), there are certain inventions are patentable, but under section 3, there are certain, could be inventions, but still not patentable under Indian law. For example, in case of a biotechnology, pharmaceutical and chemistry related patent applications, frivolous patent is not possible, contrary to natural laws. See, that is, for example, machine that gives more than 100% performance. It is not at all possible. If you get a patent application, practically it is not possible, because input to output is not always 100%. Then there is a perpetual machine. These are all not patentable because it is contrary to natural law. Contrary to public order and morality. Gambling machine, device for housebreaking. Even though it could be some innovations, but the intention is something different. So it is not possible to get a patent. Then mere discovery of scientific principle, formulation of abstract theory, discovery of any living thing, discovery of non-living substance, like Newton's law, superconducting phenomena as such, discovery of microorganism, discovery of nature that goes as a mineral. Everything is, it is there, already there in the nature. You are just to find out. So you will not get a patent for those things. Suppose you come across a novel process for separation of this mineral, you may get a patent. But you cannot get a patent per se for the mineral. Same thing applied to microorganism also. Microorganisms available, it is in nature. But you from the effluent, you separated out and found utility, then you may get a patent. But as such, I found microorganism, it is not patentable subject matter. Then there's a section 3D. This is very critical with respect to drug related innovations. What it says is, new forms of known substance which does not result in the enhancement of efficacy is not patentable. What is a form? Could be, it could be a salt, ester, ether, polymer, metabolite, pure form, particle size, isomer, mixtures, blah blah blah. Everything is, they call it as new forms. In fact, the famous case is the Novartis case, where they file a patent application for a beta crystalline form of imatinib mesylate, whereas imatinib mesylate per se was known. The difference only in respect to the beta form. It went up to Supreme Court and they held that it is nothing but a new form of known substance, because imatinib mesylate is known. What you have done is you come across one new polymeric form, which could be a stable. So you may get a probably may get a protection for the process of getting this beta form, but not the beta form per se. It is not possible, and the patent was refused because it does not have any enhanced efficacy. Because once you dissolve any salt into water or fluid, it converted into the active form only. It might mesylate that whatever the salt form get dissolved. So you'll get only the active substance. That is what the active substance. So what you are getting is, you are getting seeking protection for a salt form of active substance, but actually your invention lies in this active form only. So therefore it is not patentable because it is another form. This is in fact, this is a very critical case where all the litigations are happening on this particular aspect in pharma industry. Then mere discovery of new property or new use of a known substance is not patentable. That is, paracetamol is known, and you come across a new method of treating blood cancer using paracetamol, it is not possible to get a patent. Mere use of a known process, machine or apparatus, unless such process result in a new product or implies at least new reactant, it is not patentable. Then mere admixture is not patentable. You come across, for example, a composition containing cetirizine and phenylpropanolamine, hydrochloride, and paracetamol. This is nothing but a combination of three elements which are independently known. So you want to seek protection for these three elements in a combined form. So therefore, you may not get a patent unless it show this is giving us something unexpected result. That is, it is able to cure it that disease in a very short time or something like that. If you are able to show with the technical data, you may get a patent. Then medicinal, surgical, curative, prophylactic, diagnostic, therapeutic, other treatment on human beings is not patentable. Any process similar treatment on animals is not patentable because ultimately to make them render off free of disease or increase their economic value or that their products, because it's nothing but a treatment. So it is prohibited under the Indian law. Then you may not get a patent for method of agriculture or horticulture. You cannot get a plants, animals or parts thereof, which involve the essential biological process. Then traditional knowledge, anything related to traditional knowledge, you will not get a patent. So the requirement is whenever you come across a new invention, it is not only novelty and inventive step, you should go for the test of whether it is fall under the scope of non-patentability, you should ascertain it. Mere rearrangement or arrangement of duplication of known devices, each functioning independently. There are four elements A, B, C, D. You put it in are independently known. You put that combination. So therefore, it is I'm getting a new device. It is not possible unless there should be kind of a arrangement which show that which acts in a particular manner. So it's very difficult to get a patent. Then mathematical or business method, computer program per se or algorithm is not patentable. Then performing mental act or method of playing game. These are the prohibitions under the mechanical or electronic related inventions. Then if anything related to atomic energy, still it is not patentable. So the requirement is, in order to get a patent, you require novelty, inventive step, industrial application, and you should not excluded by section 3 or 4. Then only you get a patent in India. Of course, this exclusivity, that is the exclusion, is depending upon certain countries. Still, it is there. For Europe, you will not get a patent for a method of treatment. So like that, each country have their own laws. But majority is novelty, inventive step, and industrial application. These are the three critical tests for invention to qualifiable under the patent, to get a patent. Then earlier we discussed about this. There is a patent specification. So the specification, what is the specification contain should be the technical field. That is, you should talk about what is the invention is, which field it is related. Then why you came across this background. That is, you've done some research. Then you come across some innovations, some surprising result. So you should talk about this background art. Then you should talk about what is the summary. Then it contains a description with the examples, tables, or drawings, depending upon the type of inventions. Then you should contain the claims and you should contain the abstract. You should disclose the invention sufficiently. The sense you should be, because ultimately any invention is addressed to a person skilled in the particular art. So a medicinal chemist, if it is related to a drug, so a medicinal chemist can able to understand your invention and able to reproduce it without your help or without inventor's help. That is what the requirement of sufficiency. Sufficient to work the invention. And you should not hide certain critical aspects. Suppose if there are critical aspects are there, should be able to, you are supposed to require to provide it in the same description. That is, the requirement is the person who is in the same field able to reproduce your invention without undue experimentation. That is what the requirement is. It should be a self-sustaining document. how to make the invention, how to use the invention, and you should provide in a best mode, which you are known to you. You need not talk about anything which is not known, but whatever you are known at the time of filing your patent application, you should provide it, you should disclose it. And again, the problem is once you file a patent application, you cannot add any new subject matter. You should not say that, I missed these certain things, can I introduce it? It is not at all possible. And patent can be invalidated on the ground that you are not provided enough information. This is a typical, I have another, I tried to complete in 15 minutes. The various subject matter is how protected. Compound is protected in all the countries. Composition, again, process is no problem. Method of treatment is protected only in the USA. Microorganism, again, subject to conditions, you can get a patent. Use claim, it is protected in except in USA and India, you can get a use claims. This is another, I just earlier I mentioned that there are some sample patents. This is a molecule which is anticoagulant. This is a rivaroxaban. This is protected under the patent. This patent number is 211300. This is what the claim of the particular patent. It is the title as oxolidine under use. And based on that, there are further around 40-50 patents have been filed based on that earlier patent. One is, it could be for the process, or it could be some new crystal form. They filed it. I don't know whether this has been granted or not, but again, I just came across these things. Then this is a Herceptin. This is that breast cancer drug, monoclonal antibody used for treat breast cancer. This is what the claim. A composition comprising a mixture of anti-HER2 antibody and 1 or acidic variants thereof, wherein the amount of acidic variant is less than 25%. This is what that claim of that particular patent. And this is another product, this anti-diabetic sitagliptin. This is that claim. Earlier, the top one is that the Marcus claim, where it contains AR. There is we put that all variables, but this is a very specific molecule. It is being used as a medicine drug. This is what the sitagliptin. What is the advantage of and the disadvantage of getting a patent? Advantage is you get exclusivity, which enables investment, the higher returns on investment, is strong enforceable right, and you can make that invention tradable, licensing, selling, and other things. But what are the problems? It reveals the invention to your competitor after 18 months. Again, getting a patent could be expensive. It takes some more time, and it is enforceable only after the grant. And that too before the court of law only you have to handle these proceedings. So all depending on, you should decide accordingly whether you are able to get a patent, enforce it, or simply publish it that no one get a patent. That is up to you. You have to decide it. This is a general procedure. You first file a patent application in India. It could be a provisional or it could be a complete. Then if you want protection in other jurisdictions, you should file a PCT or convention application within 12 months. This 12 months is not extendable. This is statutory deadline. Once you miss this 12 months deadline, you miss the bus. There is no way you can change it or you can recover it. Then it gets published by 18 months. Then you need to file a request for exemption within 48 months that your first filing date or the priority date. Then you may get a first exemption report. You have to respond within 6 months. Of course, 3 months extension is possible. If the controller is satisfied, he may grant the application, or if he is not satisfied, he'll offer you a hearing. And during the hearing, you can present your arguments. Then if the controller is satisfied, he may grant it or he may refuse it. In case refusal, you can very well file an appeal. Now appeal has to be filed only before the high courts. Of course, my colleague will be talking on this enforcement of patents on Friday. Then suppose if the patent is very frivolous or it is not patentable, you can very well, before the grant, after the publication, you can file a patent opposition. That is called pre-grant. or assuming that you are not able to file it opposition before pre-grant, you can still very well file a opposition after the grant of a patent. Application can be filed in Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai, or Kolkata. It could be provisional or it could be complete. In case you file a provisional, you should file a complete after provisional within 12 months. This date is not extendable. And any foreign application, PCT, XR should be filed within 12 months. Due to some reasons, you are withdrawing the patent application, you should do it within 15 months. And it gets published by it after expiry of 18 months. Then the examination by the patent office, applicant to file a request for examination within 48 months. Then it gets examined. On receipt of examination report, you need to file a response. The controller is satisfied. If not satisfied, he may offer a hearing. Subject to pre-grant. Then there is a, once upon grant, you need to pay the back annuities. Then you have to pay yearly annuities to maintain the patent. In addition, you need to submit a working statement each financial year after the grant. There are types of application: ordinary, divisional, patent of addition. Of course, this we cannot go too much into it. I'm just giving these are various types of applications possible. And this is a uniqueness. Just I want to say, earlier till 2015 December, we follow a numbering system of this could be 4 number or 5 number with the jurisdiction of the patent office, then the number of year. This was really a cumbersome, especially doing a patent search. This is really creating trouble to everyone because somebody follows slash without follow, somebody may not follow slash. So there could be issues with respect to patent search. So as per the international system, we need to amend the numbering system. Accordingly, we have done it from 2016. That is 4 digits is year of the patent when you filed it. Then jurisdiction, that is it could be Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai. Then followed by 6 digit or 7 digit number, depending upon the serial number only. So by this one, see 2016 47123446. So you can able to do search in the patent database. Otherwise, what happened? You have to put this 2016 slash some 123 slash again 2020 or something. It's very difficult to search in the patent databases. So that is the reason we need to amend the numbering system also to in comply with the international practice. Then you can file amendment. Of course, suppose you have done some mistake or you need to narrow your claim, you can very well file amendment. Of course, certain restrictions are there. I don't want to too much into it. It is by the way of disclaimer, correction, or explanation. You cannot introduce a new subject matter. So that is the reason you should your application should have all this relevant information at the time of filing your application only. The general objections that is the requirement is novelty, inventive step, industry applicability, enabling disclosure, not fall within the scope of section 3, incorrect disclosure. Suppose you come across any biological resources, then you are supposed to provide those information to patent office. And if the biological resources occurring in India, you need to get a NB approval also. This is a procedural requirement. Of course, I don't want to talk too much into it. The term of patent is 20 years. In case of patent of addition, it will be valid till the grant of the term of the parent application, parent patent. And you cannot take any legal action in case of application is pending. It can be taken only after the grant of the patent. You will get a reasonable royalty from the period between the date of publication and date of grant. In case due to reasons we have not paid the annuity fees, it can be restored with the reasonable conditions are there. Then you can file opposition pre-grant, post-grant revocation. Thank you. Of course, I'm able to complete it very quickly. Now, floor is open for any queries. The patent law is very dry subject. It's very difficult for a scientist, but there is no other way.
Participants, do you have any queries? You can post in the chat box or you can ask directly. So we have enough time. Like we have more 45 minutes more to discuss.
Oh, acha. I was impressed it is 10:30.
Yeah, sir, it was till 11.
Oh, okay, okay.
So if you would like to add something, maybe if you feel like, then if it is possible to discuss something,
Yeah, okay. I'll try to get some slides. In the meantime, any queries, let them just people can.
There is one query from one participant.
Yeah.
So can the inventor import his invention from countries? So it's from Mohammed Imran.
1 second. Screen, 1 second. Can inventor import the invention from foreign countries? But that be the case, it is not a invention, no? It is not an invention. In fact, there is a specific exclusion. Who could be the inventor? Inventor is the person who invented it. Suppose if there is a product available in abroad, and as if you are to file an Indian application as you are the first inventor, then it is not permitted. You are not the, first of all, you are not the real inventor. Only person who can get a patent is the person who invented any product. It is simply imported. Suppose assuming that it is available in other jurisdiction and you just imported it, then you may not, if you file a patent application, someone can oppose it. Saying that it is already in public domain or had been used by someone else, or even
Hello.
that particular inventor can oppose it.
Very good morning, sir. Thank you for the very informative session. Sir, my question is actually,
Yeah.
if suppose I have filed an Indian application for a technology,
Right.
and the technology is novel, it is not existing anywhere in the world. So I proved novelty first. Thereafter, I got a patent in India. Let
Right.
us suppose.
Right.
Right. And now the technology, the production of the technology is very costly in India. And since after grant, we also follow the territorial jurisdictions, like we can enforce patent in India only.
Yeah.
But let us suppose someone else is making that technology after the grant in India, because sir, others can make it in other jurisdictions.
Yeah.
Only if I have not filed a protection in other countries. Let us suppose I have filed a protection in China, then of course nobody else can make it in China.
Yeah.
But let us suppose I have not filed a protection in Bangladesh or somewhere else, and somebody else is making that invention in Bangladesh, so I cannot file infringement proceedings against that person.
Yeah.
So is it possible for me to import that technology from Bangladesh? This is the question actually.
Yeah, you mean to say there is an alternative technology available in Bangladesh where it is not filed in India? That is what you want to say, right? Whether can I
Yes.
use it in India?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as the technology, if you are importing it, is not protected under Indian law, you can very well practice it. But you may be prohibited from exporting this particular patent back to Bangladesh or other jurisdiction where suppose that patent would have been filed. Then they may enforce that particular whatever the delta or that thing against your product. You got the point?
Yes, sir. But actually, I am referring to the same invention, the same technology.
Yeah, that's what. See, that's what. See, you file a patent application in Bangladesh, okay? And
No,
there is
sir.
no file.
Let us suppose there is an invention X. I have invented an invention X. I got a patent in India.
Fine.
And getting a patent in India simply means that I can restrict others from making, selling, and importing the invention from foreign countries.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
after after getting a patent in India, if I want to file a divisional application or a PCT application, I will only file these applications only if I am interested in getting a protection in other countries. And if suppose I haven't chosen this, I'm not interested in filing a protection in other jurisdictions, it simply means that my invention is only protected in India, not in other countries.
yes, you are
And
correct.
by virtue of this, let us suppose other industry or someone in other country, let us suppose in China, Bangladesh, or in any jurisdiction, it is being made in other country, and I have no right to file infringement suit since I haven't chosen a protection of my invention in those countries.
Right.
Now the question is, and of course, others cannot import. This is very well clear. Can I import that invention, the same invention, my invention, which I have invented? Can I import it in India and sell it in India? Because of so many reasons, maybe because in India the manufacturing
No, but
cost.
your invention is protected in India, na?
Yes.
So there's not any problem at all. As long as you are using your invention within India, there is no problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
But see, what happened? See, patent right is negative right. Generally,
Yes.
you can stop others from using your invention. Okay.
Yes.
But see, for example, if there is a reason, suppose your invention is you got a patent, but suppose somebody would have filed application on a similar technology, and that technology might be infringing some other's patent in India, then you need to get a clearance. That is called a
Right.
freedom to
Right.
operate. You need to
Right.
ascertain whether someone earlier filed some modification or some whatever that precursor of your thing in India, and they may act against you. That you should ascertain.
Right, sir. I got the point. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I think there is one more question. There are 16 questions are there.
So there is one more question, that is, how do we interpret 5 to 6 people having a patent for a single application, and that too a foreign patent, remaining and working in India?
So what my understanding is, there are 5 to 6 inventors. Somebody in India, somebody would have been in USA, somebody in other jurisdiction. You all filed a single patent application. And again, you need to be very clear whether you want to file a patent in India or other jurisdiction. Okay, there is no, as long as multiple inventor is no problem. But who is the applicant? Who wants the patent has to be ascertained. Because if all the 5 or 6 people are owners, that is, they own that part of the invention, and if it is filed in only in India, it can be enforced only in India. But suppose if it is file a patent application in foreign country, you may not get work. You cannot work it in. You can work it in India, but if you are not got a patent in India, then there could be a problem. No? Probably, I understood. Am I clear or? Okay, sir.
Sir, one query from myself, Dr. Jitin Kumar.
Sir, can you go louder, please, sir? Please.
Sir, my query is, suppose, first of all, you find the patent application after the prior art search. Suppose after pre-grant application or post-grant application, anyone declare that this is the already in prior art, means this is already in prior art. So what can do after the post grant position?
See what happens. Suppose assuming that you file a patent application in India, and it is subjected to pre-grant or post-grant due to various reasons, you can very well narrow down your scope of your claim, and it is still enforceable. That is basically you have to exclude whatever there is a prior art. You can exclude those portions. That is, for example, you file a patent application for 100 square meter, just for a mathematical thing, and due to reasons, you can very well restrict to 25 square meter or 40 square meter. Still, you may get a very narrow claim. Still, you can enforce it. That is, there is possibility amendment is possible till the any time of the patent term. We can first try amendment of the claims. then only you can give up your rights.
Okay. Thank you.
So there is one more question from Sugandha Mala. So can you please highlight about animal breeders' right? I think plant breeders' right you have mentioning.
Yeah, there is a plant breeders, a plant variety protection act. There is no animal. Basically, the plant variety protectionist act is there. Okay, it is called a sui generis to India patent law, where there are certain conditions are there. In fact, what happened in patent law, you can, everything is on the paper, you can disclose it, you can get a patent. But in case of a plant variety protection act, you have to establish, you have to grow the plant and provide a distinguishing characteristics to the authority. They in turn, they will grow the plant in various jurisdictions, and they ascertain whether it is meeting the requirement. Then they'll get then you will get a grant for certain period, 7 years or 10 years, something like that. It is possible. You may get a new plant varieties. You can get a patent, you have protection under the PVPFRA.
Yes, sir. I do know that, but what about animal breeders laws? Anything is there, rights? Anything is there? Like
No.
we can go with same like plant breeders, right? Like that,
No.
or microorganisms or anything like that.
No, microorganism may get a protection under the patent law.
Yes, sir. But about animal, is there anything like?
No, because under the law, animal protection of animal per se is banned under a restricted category.
Okay. Okay, because I was thinking about microorganisms there and plant is there. Why not about animals? Animals also been bred for so many things, right, sir? So
Yes.
I thought like anything is there. So no, about that. Just I want to.
Basically, you are trying to infringe farmers' rights. Okay.
Okay, nothing like that, sir. Just
No,
I
that is
want
what.
to
See,
know.
when you are trying to get a breeder's right, okay, then
Yes,
probably
sir.
you want to do everything. So thereby you are preventing the farmers. That is the reason probably that the law is not available for animal breeding. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your kind answer. Yes, thank you, sir.
So, one more question. Sir, commercialization of the plant variety, there is need to permission from an NBA approval or not? Sir?
See, if it is your plant variety is protected under the PVPFRA, you need not go to NBA. It is excluded from NBA purview.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions?
Hello.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
please.
Hello. Yeah. Sir, one query is regarding the design patent. If same design is granted from patent office, then what are the various mode of punishment? That means I publish one patent and same design will be published by another person. So it will be complete responsibility of the patent office or the another person who is punishable.
See, the thing is, whoever first filed the application, they have a protection. Okay. In general, suppose if the person who got a design patent knowingly, unknowingly, the patent office due to reasons is granted, still you can very well invalidate it, saying that it is already in public domain or there is no novelties there. You can very well invalidate before the patent office, or you have to go to court to enforce it.
Okay. So that means it is completely punishable.
Yeah, it is punishable.
Yeah, but there is no responsibility of patent office that they must verify the design.
To some extent, they should need to verify it because they need to show that the design meeting the requirement of novelty characteristics. But again, it is very, very difficult because it is basically a visual comparison. So again, very difficult to from the prima facie, because it is duty of that patent office. But it is not that there is a possibility of some missings are there, which you can no way avoid it.
Okay. Sir, is there any way to find the design patent so the some person can identify that this idea will be this design will be already published or not?
Again, basically, you can do Google search, and of course, Patent Office publishes a design database is available online. You can do it, search it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Making food eatable items are coming under patent law. So you can, as long as you come across a new food item, it is protectable, and the process of preparing the food item is protectable. In fact, we filed a patent application for it is under the examination. Dehydrated vada. That vada can be stored for up to 6 months. I filed a patent application. And even DRDO granted some ready-to-eat chapatis or various drinks. They file a lot of patent applications and been granted also. So as long as the requirement is novelty, inventive step, and industrial applicability, then you may get a patent. There is no problem. That is the reason all the technology is patentable under the Indian law. There is no restriction. One person can have multiple patents. Yes, it is possible. As long as you can invent more, you can get a multiple patents. In fact, I understand from Dr. Asha that yesterday you had a very hectic session on kind of a confusion on this various forms of IP law. Of course, I can explain any queries.
Okay, participants, if you have any queries, you can post right away. We
Yes,
have
sir.
enough time. Yeah.
Sir, there is one query, if it is possible, if time permits. Sir, what is the recent position of trade secret law in India? We don't have any legislation. Is there any development in that stage?
Some discussion is going on. But again, trade secret, as long as you are keeping it trade secret, you are protected perpetually. No? So what way that, whatever that confidentiality requirement is on drug aspects only, where during a drug development, a lot of data have been created. So each pharmaceutical companies, they want to keep that data very secret for a certain period. Because what happened in generic approval, they use that for purpose of evaluation or comparison, they need to use that data. So basically, the law is with respect to keeping the data secret for certain period so that the patent person can have they can enjoy the exclusivity. Otherwise, what happened that generic industry will flourish. That is against of this branded problem. So that is the reason. In fact, there is something is going on about the protection of that confidential data. Right, we don't have any legislation.
Okay, sir.
Is there any there is more than one applicant for a single patent? Is there any sequence or everyone will get equal credit from? Everyone will get equal credit. Suppose if they have more than you have to divide it accordingly. But in case of licensing other things, a consent of other person is required. Each independent applicant can practice it, but in case of selling or licensing it, they require other person's consent also. How can you differentiate design and modification of design? Both are patentable. See, again, as I mentioned, design is something different, patent is something different. Design is with respect to your aesthetic aspects, whereas patent is related to inventions, where it is you need to work on it. This could be related to some products which are novel and be having inventive natures. So there should not be any confusion between design and patent. Again, any modification, suppose if you in your patent, if you come across any modification, you can very well file a patent of addition. That is whatever the delta X you come across, you can very well protect it under the patent of addition category. Similarly, under the design, suppose if you do some new design, you can very well file another application for design protection. So you'll be basically design is nothing but a copyright protection. Nobody can reproduce it as if in that design, whatever the product you obtained under the design aspect. So both are independent. Is there any proposal like Due Diligence Act in USA? We don't have anything, but normally whenever there is a licensing it or selling it or thing, the person has to do a due diligence. Suppose if you are acquiring certain things, better to do the proper precedence so that he is free from any kind of disputes. When you are buying a home, you are doing this no objection certificate from the registrar office saying that there is no one is having this rights and all. So you should do it when you are acquiring it, any IP rights. It need not be under any law, but it is under the common practice. You should do it. When you are buying a product, you are checking at different places where you are getting a cheaper. Similarly, when you are acquiring IP rights, you should be very clear that is it proper with a due free from any kind of a hold or any issues like that.
Sir, if you want to add anything, if you want to present some more slides, you can do that. We have enough time.
Yes, I'll just 1 second.
We have half an hour more,
Yes,
if it's possible.
suppose I'll make it possible. 1 second. Some case laws, I'll share it. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, but not in presentation mode.
Yeah, I'll just share 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, there are some cases I can discuss it. This turmeric, people aware of it, right? Can I skip it? Turmeric case.
So it has not been discussed. So if you want, probably you
Yeah.
can discuss it.
Yeah. So here it is turmeric patent is in fact in early 90s. 3M filed a patent application for a wound healing characteristic turmeric. And there was an issue on that US protected the turmeric like that. There was an issue was there. This is what that patent claim. Use of turmeric in wound healing. Patent was granted a method of promoting healing of wound in a patient, which consists essentially of administering a wound healing agent consisting on effective amount of turmeric powder to said patent. This is what the claim of that one which was granted in 1995. That means they claimed for a turmeric powder for wound healing. Then there was a hue and cry. Then what happened? During the investigation, we found that there was no document available in public domain on that particular use of the turmeric. That is the reason US Patent Office granted. That's what the information we gathered. Then there was a lot of searches happened. Then the person who done the work, they come across that one particular text from the Jamia on the library, that use of the turmeric, which indicated that it is this again. The translation was used to invalidate the patent, saying that there is already this information is already known in the art. in that the information we submitted was taken directly as a blood purifier, cures jaundice, analgesic, locally applied, anti-inflammatory, extract best tonic for right side, wound healing and wound infection. This is the information which it was submitted to the US Patent Office, and based on that, patent was invalidated. Then they amended that, okay, I'm not claiming the wound healing characteristics, but I am trying to get a patent for surgical wound healing characteristics of surgical wound. Then there was it was argued that during that childbirth, after cutting this umbilical cord, people use the turmeric powder for treating it. Therefore, that is equivalent to that surgery. So therefore, in fact, it was submitted by way of affidavit. Then the patent was invalidated. Then there is a Basmati case. This rice tech was issued on patent number 5663484 on Basmati rice lines and grains in September 1997. They got a patent on 3 things: growing rice plants with certain characteristics identical to Basmati, grain produced by such plants, and method of selecting rice based on the starch index test devised by rice tech index. The patent was challenged on the fact that the plant varieties and grains are already exist as a staple in India. This was the claim of the rice tech patent. A rice plant, which plant when cultivated North, Central or South America or Caribbean islands, has a mature height of 80 to 140 centimeters. It is substantially photo period sensitive and produce rice grains having an average starch index of 27 to 35. This is what the critical is. See, average 2-acetyl pyrrolene content of about 150 parts per billion to 2000 parts per billion. This is the main aspect. Because of this patent, of course, these other things are again characteristics of Basmati plant. Whereas the claim was from this is a very, very critical aspect in this the patent. 2-acetyl 1-pyrrolene content, which is 150 to 2000 parts per billion. Basmati rice had up to 200 parts per billion is what the normal thing. Because of this one, we cannot export, India cannot export that particular Basmati to USA because it has been prohibited under this particular patent. Okay. What happened then? The patent was re-examined, filed by Indian government. Rice Tech agreed to withdraw the several of the claims. Again, at that time, we don't have any data or any kind of a prior publication. We have to generate affidavit from the reputed peoples. Then we need to submit it before the USPTO. Based on that one, the Indian government re-examined the patent application and the claims are restricted. That is January 2002, the United States Patent Office issued a re-exam certificate cancelling claims 1 to 7, 10 and 14 to 20, the broad claims covering the rice plant out of 24 claims. So thereby we are overcome that issue. After the re-examination, this is a claim. A rice plant produced from Mass 867 seed having access to 80 cc. This is what the patent already granted for Rice Tech. This excluded any Basmati exported from India. So thereby we are avoiding a major trade issue. It was avoided. Then there is a Wonko mouse case. What happened? Again, this is what one of the query from that inventor says, where is animal breed, animal pattern and all. What happened? This was granted in, this is basically in European case law. Normally when evaluating this cancer drugs, they create cancer cells in the mouse, then they administer the drug and they test the efficacy of that drug, then accordingly it get commercialized. So they are killing the rats or mouse for evaluation purpose. So for that, they have to create the cancerous cells in the mouse. For that, they use that to administer the chloroform. So thereby the cancer cells are formed. Then the people test it. So to address that particular issue, one of the inventor, he made a recombinant cell. He created he included the oncogene into that mammal so that any mammal or any mouse from this particular species having is cancerous cells, that will be useful for the evaluation and cancer drugs and other things. This is what the basic concept or the background of this particular invention. Is a valuable means for furthering cancer research. Harvard College sought patent protection in the United States and several countries, covers all mammals and progeny of the animal. This case raised a general ethical issue regarding transgenic technology in itself, but it also raised two key issues for the patent system. Should patents be granted at all for animals or animal varieties, particularly for higher order animals such as mammals, even if they do otherwise meet patentability criteria, that is novelty, industrial applicability, usefulness, inventive step, etc. These are the issue raised. How should moral implication be addressed in relation to specific cases? Example, the question of suffering caused to the transgenic animal. These issues have been resolved differently by the patent authorities or different countries, as the following illustrate. European Patent Office considered the Oncomose case at length at several levels. It has only resolved in 2004. The EPO applies the patent standards of the European Patent Convention, which contains two key relevant provisions. Article 53, which excludes patents for invention, the publication or exploitation of which would contrary to order for public morality. Then section 53B excludes patents on animal varieties or essentially biological process for protection of animals. The EPO decided that the exclusion of patenting animals varieties did not constitute a ban on patenting animals as such. It concluded further that the Oncomose was not an animal variety, and so it did not fall within that exclusion. Then another issue is the order, public, and morality. They approached under the utilitarian aspect. This aimed to access the potential benefits of claimed invention against negative aspects. In this case, being the suffering of the onco mice against expected medical benefits to benefits of humanity. Other consideration could be also be taken into account in the balancing test, such as environmental risk or public unease. There was no evidence in European patent culture moral disapproval of the use of mice in cancer research. There is no moral disapproval of the proposed exploitation of the invention in this case. The EPO concluded that the usefulness of the Oncomose in furthering cancer research satisfied the likelihood of substantial medical benefit and outweighed moral concern about suffering caused to the animals. In original application, the claim was referred to animals in general, but in the course of the proceedings, the patent was amended and finally maintained with the claims limited to mice. Then this is a Diamond versus Chakrabarti, which in fact we discussed earlier. This is again the famous Novartis case. Of course, I should not infringe my colleague's rights because he may be discussing this on Friday. But still, I just to give a glance, I just touch upon it. This is related to a drug substance called beta crystalline form of a metinib mesylate, which is free base of imatinib. So, as I mentioned it, no product patent for the pharmaceutical substance in India till 2005. Under the TRIPS, India had a transition provision by which patent application for any drug substance may be filed between 1195 to 31/12/2004. In this particular case, this was filed somewhere in 1998. Indian Patent Office took up the examination of such application after 1/1/2005, when the Indian law was amended to comply with the TRIPS requirement. In the interim, India granted exclusive marketing rights to Novartis on November 10, 2003 for a patent application 1602 March 1998. Once this EMR was granted, Novartis sued Indian drug companies for infringement of this exclusive marketing right. The issue was that cost of the Novartis drug was almost 1,20,000 per month, whereas the generic version was cost of 8,000 to 10,000. Novartis initiated infringement action against Indian companies under the EMR. Patent law was amended with effect on 2005. Indian companies filed because in the meantime, 2005 the patent law was amended, so people file a pre-grant opposition against this Novartis patent. The background is a Swiss patent application filed in 1992. There was a US patent granted in 1996. This is US 5521184. This discloses the imatinib mesylate, that is derivatives of N-phenyl 2-pyrimidine amine and salts thereof. That is methane sulfonic acid was not claimed. However, preparation of said acid salt was using various acids, including methane sulfonic, was disclosed in it. That is in that US patent 5521184, they claimed the base molecule imatinib. Of course, they disclose you can get a various forms of this base by reacting with acid like methane sulfonic acid. You can very well get a salt. In 1997, Novartis filed a new patent application in Switzerland on the beta crystalline form of imatinib mesylate, a specific polymer for imatinib mesylate. That is, individual molecule packed together to form a solid, and this is the actual form of drug sold as a Glivec. Indian patent was filed in 1998. This is that formula of this US patent. In that, there is a methane sulfonic. What the claim is, a crystalline form of the methane sulfonic acid addition salt of compound of Formula 1, which is non-hygrogenic in glass climatic chamber at 25 degrees and relative humidity is up to including 93%. That was the claim of the patent application. Specifically, it is beta form of this particular substance having a particular XRPD pattern as per the claim. In that pre-grant representation, what the raised objection was, it lacked inventive step and not patentable under section 3D of this act, and the priority claim of the application was not valid. What happened at the time of when the application was filed, Switzerland was not a part of the conventional country, and at the time only 5 countries were in the conventional countries like USA, not even USA, UK, Australia, Sri Lanka, and some other countries. So suppose if the file application in that country and you file it in India within 1 year, you will get a priority. But in this case, the first application was filed in Switzerland, which is not a priority country as per the recognized by Indian law. You cannot claim a priority. So therefore, your priority of this particular application was 1998. That means any publication prior to 1998 Indian filing date can constitute a prior art against this particular patent. In fact, we utilize this particular aspect in order to identify a prior art. In fact, I was involved in this particular initial proceedings. The background of this Novartis is it is filed in 1998, EMR granted in 2003, infringement proceeding in 2003, pre-grant filed in 2005, refused in 2006, appeal filed in Novartis before IPAB, and which also refused it. Then finally, appeal was decided by the Supreme Court on 2013. In that, the section 3D is what is critical. Mere discovery of a new form of known substance which does not result in enhancement of the known efficacy of that particular substance. Here, beta form of the imatinib mesylate is nothing but a polymorphic form, that is having the same molecular formula but different crystalline structure. Probably chemists know it. So it is nothing but a same substance. That is what as per the law. Supreme Court held that the polymeric substance claimed in the application was not patentable in view of Section 3D of the Indian Patent Act. The applicant failed to show enhanced efficacy of the beta crystalline form of the methane sulfonic acid salt from the non-material, that is base or methane sulfonic acid. Efficacy means therapeutic efficacy. Here, what the issue is, you need to show that therapeutic efficacy. It is not any other efficacy. Stability is not efficacy. That is what the interpretation of the Supreme Court. So at last, patent was refused on this particular grant. I think more than that, we should not go too much. Can I stop it now? We can discuss anything.
Yes, sir. I think it should be. I think there are no further questions, so let's move on to the duty of vote of thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Sita Lakshmi, second sem IP PhD, IUC IPRS, to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of everyone.
Thank you so much, Shweta,
Thank you.
for inviting me to render the vote of thanks. It's with immense pleasure and joy and, like pride that I would like to render my vote of thanks on behalf of everyone attending this session to Srinivasan sir for his amazing lectures on patents, right? Like you have described everything from the history, what patent law is right now in India, its application abroad, like internationally. I am so proud and I'm so happy to attend your lectures. Like as I hope, I believe that we all are. Like, I know that we all are happy to have you to enlighten us with this session through patents, about patents and the applicability and the registration part of patents. We are so thankful to you, sir, for your sparing your time for us to enlighten us on patents and patent law. And I wholeheartedly thank you for this amazing session. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge. Of course, any queries you can be addressed to Asha. She can get forwarded to me in case of any clarification. Thank you so much.
So I think we can wind up here. So the next session is at 11:30. So please be on time.